Alright, so I did want to talk about this, and I want this video to be mostly a reference later in the future. Hopefully, this helps. But I am going to be talking about the Memorial Dragonstone. Now, I haven't seen people talk about this. I'll talk about it again. I've done this a few times throughout the year just to remind people that this is how the Worldwide Dawn celebration works in the very beginning. Also, this will count even towards the countdown celebration, and you'll see why. So, what is the Memorial Dragonstone? For all intents and purposes, the Memorial Dragonstone is basically a Baba exchange item you can use to exchange for. I can pull it right now. It's somewhere here. Somewhere here. Oh, I forgot. It's right here. You'll exchange. You can exchange them for Worldwide Dawn Celebration tickets, which I'll show how you can use them. Thank you tickets or a Dokkan Fest character. Now, it takes one Memorial Dragonstone for one Worldwide Dawn Celebration ticket. It takes 5 Memorial Stones for one thank you ticket, and then it takes 150 Memorial Dragonstones for any one Dokkan Fest character. Now keep in mind, the way that this works is for every 50 stones used or consumed. So whether if it's for summoning, restoring stamina, which I highly doubt you should do that, but sure. Any retries if you die in a certain event, or any increased box space using dragon stones, or anything that utilizes dragon stones used will count towards getting at least one Memorial Dragonstone. And if my math is correct, 50 times 150 is 7,500 Dragonstones. So essentially what I'm saying is you spend 7,500 Dragonstones for one Dokkan Fest unit. But because we're in 2024, things have changed, right? We don't just have EZA units, we have Super EZA units, and these Super EZA units will count being if a unit is a Dokkan Fest or an LR. And guess what? There are some Dokkan Fest CURs in here that are actually very good now, even though they look like they suck, they are pretty good. Super ECAs that we currently have out right now are AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Super Saiyan Tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, uh, Physical Goku Black. Now, of course, to talk about this, Global and JP have their differences with their Goku Black. Goku Black on JP has less stats than Goku Black on Global. Keep that in mind. You'll see a difference. Many people have talked about this already for new players, so if you do want to search up Goku Black on Global versus JP, highly recommend doing your research. And then obviously the last one is the most recent one that we got so far, Physical Kid Buu. Which by the way, some of these guys are all three of these guys I personally think are very good. There's definitely going to be better Super EZAs in the future, when the time as we go through the year. But right now, I think for the Worldwide Dawn Celebration, we are going to be getting Super EZA. We just don't know what. Besides that point, this will definitely be updated with the some of the more recent Dokkan Fest units in the past. I think July of 2023, because that is what this is. So, to give context, the V-Jump scans did release this time around, which means they're showing off some information. And one of the information that one of the pieces of information that we did get was the reveal of the dual Dokkan Fest banner for the not the dual Dokkan Fest banner, but the dual Dokkan Fest banner for spending your actual hard-earned tickets that you use when you spend stones throughout the entire year. The way that this works is that they usually release a banner for the Worldwide Dawn Celebration up to a certain threshold of characters that have been released up to that point. So it looks like, from my understanding, JP wise, they did release They are going to be featuring characters up to July of 2023, which I believe is Super Trunks. And because it is a dual Dokkan Fest banner, they're going to be splitting this up into 2 separate banners. So right here, you're going to be seeing, and this is going to be part of the Countdown Celebration, which I'll talk about too. They are going to be splitting this up into Dokkan Fest A and then Dokkan Fest B. This is going to be featuring the biggest faces of the Golden Week celebration units, which are going to be taken a look at from last year's, is what I'm guessing. making Goku Dokkan Fest A and then Piccolo Dokkan Fest B. They'll have certain amount of characters on there depending on who's good on what. As you can see here, the difference for this year compared to last year was last year, when you do a 50 ticket summon, you actually get 50 characters. This year, they're going to make it so that when you summon on this banner right here, you get 20 characters. Now, keep in mind, there is a bigger difference here, and it's that you get 20 SSRs. 10 or half of those characters in that 20 character multi-summon are going to be Dokkan Fest units. That is correct. You're not deaf. 10 Dokkan Fest units, ranging from the oldest Dokkan Fest unit on whatever banner you summon on to the most recent Dokkan Fest unit in there. Both banners will exclude, unfortunately, Dokkan Fest LRs, but you can still technically get an LR out of the banner. And if I'm not mistaken, they did that for here. Yep. Who knows what I think, since it is going up to July of 2023, I think, what was the most recent, what was the LR up to July 2023? Was there even one? I don't remember. Oh my god, it's been so long. I don't want to dig through most of the goddamn units in here, but yeah, it's gonna go up to July 2023 LR that probably came out. I don't remember who came out. Forgive me. It has been a while, but yeah, they are going to put in generic LRs in here, so keep in mind, if you do pull a generic LR out of your 20 character summon, you are very lucky as hell. They'll potentially EZA or not, depends on who's in there. But yeah, that's how this is going. That's how the banners will work. Now I'm assuming, yeah, this is the same. This is going to be different, like I said. So whichever units are going to be on there they're going to be on there. There's no denying that if you're going to summon, this would be the best time to summon when it comes out. Now, when do you get the Dragon Stones and how are they distributed? That's the thing that everyone's going to be asking for, and I'll explain that in here. So, the way that this works, and I have this up here. The way that this works is, like I said, during the calculation, when they're calculating these stones, they're calculating for all intents and purposes of when you spend your Dragon Stones for banners, spending for stamina, retries, box space, anything that utilizes Dragon Stones will be calculated. And it's going to be calculated up to a certain point. So they do, last year they did it up to August 17th. I'm assuming by then, starting from August 18th or the 17th, is going to be the beginning period of when they're going to start calculating the Dragon Stones up to this year. So probably sometime by next week or something like that is when we're going to be seeing or hearing stuff regarding the calculation period for what you call it for the Memorial Dragon Stones. Now, also keep in mind, anything during the calculation period, I believe, is also counted as well. Let me see. Concerns during the calculation period for all intents and purposes, including summons and continues, will also be counted. If you have transferred between different OSs, so going from iOS to Android and then vice versa, Dragon Stones consumed prior to the transfer will also be counted. So I'm assuming what this means is if you go from Android to iOS, you better be spending your damn stones. Because there have been issues where I think, well, there has been some cases. If you are transferring operating systems, make sure you spend your stones because those will be gone, if I remember correctly. If I remember, those will be gone. If I remember correctly, that's how it works. Stones consumed outside of the calculation period. So once they're done with the calculation stuff, the stones that you use will not be counted towards the current celebration. It will probably be counted towards next year's celebration, which is some odd amount of days from then. What else? Also, Memorial Dragon Stones will not be distributed to players who were confirmed to have violated the TOS. Yeah, I wonder why. For last year when this happened, right? I think when players started receiving their Memorial Dragon Stones, there were issues where players weren't able to receive them. I don't know. The reason why is because it takes a little. They're doing this in waves, and the way that they're doing this in waves is now I can explain the actual like receive and all that stuff. But this is what they're going to be doing to calculate during the calculation period. So once they announce this, you'll be seeing like how many stones you're calculating. Anything after that, they will not be calculated. But the way that they're distributing their the Memorial Dragon Stones to each player, and keep in mind they are doing this, I believe, the week after. So it'll take about a week for them to actually calculate and distribute them before everything goes crazy and nuts. But the way they distribute them is via your player ID, specifically the very last digit of your player ID. So, if let's say for example your ID ends in 7, 6, 5, or 4, your stones will be distributed at X time. Okay? It could be earlier, it could be sooner. I don't know how long ago this was. I could assume like 2 years ago. They might have changed like what time the timings depending on like which ID is getting it early before others. For those that do want to know where your player ID is, before you get into your game, on the home screen or the start screen, I believe your player ID is either going to be in the top left or right corners of your phone or whatever device that you're on. Make sure you read your last digit of your ID because that correlates to when your actual stones will get distributed at a certain time. That's how it works. And if you're in a different time zone, make sure you know when your stones are actually going to be distributed at your time zone, so that you don't have to complain about, oh my god, I didn't get my stones. Yeah, I know. I've seen this happen. It's not gonna end. It's not gonna end soon. I definitely will tell you that. Now, in terms of the tickets, right? For those that do want to know if we're getting tickets, we're gonna be getting the tickets during the countdown celebration. I'll talk about that when I guess I'll during my prediction video for the worldwide down celebration, because this is last year's, by the way. This is last year's. They do show off like all these loading screens, but I'll explain more in the future. But like I said, this is how they're going to be distributing their. This is how they're going to distribute uh the Memorial Dragon Stones. This is how the Memorial Dragon Stones are gonna work in this fashion. Keep in mind, you're able to use these guys during a certain threshold of the entire worldwide download celebration. So once the period is over, you can't use them, but you can use them for collection purposes. That's all I can say. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. And like I said, they are going to be updating the list, so it's not just gonna be like, oh, all these characters are gonna suck. It's fair game. Super ECAs are here. Dokkan Fest units that have not ECA'd will also be ECAing sometime in the future. We just don't know when. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, hopefully this video does help a bit to the point where it's understandable. Keep in mind, the period hasn't ended yet in terms of spending your stones and whatnot. I know a lot of people are saving up their stones, so there's not gonna be that much spending here and there. But in terms of actually like getting your stuff together, I guess, grinding it up and all that stuff, make sure you do that because this is gonna hit different. Let's hope that they do like Dokkan Fest Carnival. I kind of like that format honestly, but if it's dual Dokkan Fest and then dual Carnival, that's also fine as well. It just really depends on like how they're gonna do it. But we'll see. So let me know what you guys think of this video. Let me know if this helped a bit at least. And as always, I will see you all in. Let me see if I can pull it up again. And I'll see you all in the next one.